So hi everyone, how are you?
Hello, how are
Hi,
you?
Beth.
I'm
How you
doing well,
doing?
doing well.
Excellent.
First off, I just wanted to say I absolutely love the film. It was not something I was expecting, which is like the best case scenario. So,
Great.
Thank you.
So
Thank
What
you.
were
happy
you
you say
expecting?
that because we agree. We think that this movie defies expectations.
Yeah,
so
you never know with a title like this. You just never
Yeah.
know what you're getting
yeah.
into, you know? So we're happy to hear that.
So how much fun was it working on this film?
Oh my gosh. Just picture the best time you've had with your best friends hanging out and then throw making a movie around it. That's literally what it was like because we're all hanging, making each other laugh, and we're getting to do what we've always dreamed of. It's in the film business, it's you get lucky if you get a chance to make something, and the fact that this group got the chance to make a movie, we're just still blown away by it
Yeah.
every day.
We've been waiting 30 years to make a film, and the fact that our first movie experience was really no notes and letting us do whatever we want, like we were very lucky and yeah, it was a great experience.
That's awesome. So this is essentially a creature feature without a creature. Why an invisible raptor?
We couldn't afford the visible ones that movie that Hollywood makes. Two reasons. It's kind of a twofer. Number one, we were doing a very small indie film, and the original pitch going in was, "Hey guys, let's go make we'll make a movie about an invisible dinosaur because then we'll save money on CGI and effects." And so everybody was like, "That's hilarious. We got to do this." But also, I think there's the sort of stigma in a film of when you do see the creature, sometimes it does ruin the movie for a lot of people. I love Signs, but then I hear people review it and they go, "But when the alien comes up," and I'm like, "Well, it didn't bother me, but." Typically that scene tends to happen, and we're like, well, we'll just never show it. So, we'll show it in clever ways, and that was the fun of the game for us is finding clever ways of showing an invisible creature, and with Mike shooting an invisible creature and letting us feel its presence in the room, and then with the sound team coming in and giving us that presence. So it was multi-layered choices here.
So, like one of the pros being saving money and giving that the extra suspense. But what challenges did working with an invisible monster bring?
I mean, challenges we didn't even know we were going to face. I mean, the you have an idea in your head of what making an Invisible Man movie is going to be like, but until you're truly having to deal with the consequences of having your invisible creature be invisible, then yeah, it's hard to plan for until you're in the moment and you're like, oh no, we got to do this and that.
And it
Right,
was
right.
more than just an empty frame too. Every time it moved, we had to make sure, like if it passed something, we felt movements on the staircase. We were trying to pull the stairs, and we were like, "Oh man, this is a little harder than what we thought." But that was one of many challenges. So
So, one other challenge that I feel is a challenge. It may not be a challenge, but balancing the comedy with the horror. Uh, what was that like?
Gosh, there's a fine line, and we all talked about that. You want to give the audience just enough so that they want more as the movie progresses, right? And as we watch the pacing, we're like, this movie kind of feels like it's constantly upping itself, and whether it's upping itself comedically or upping itself with the gore and the horror elements, I think we just always all agreed, like, hey, let's just keep this at a tone, one single tone throughout. And you've got your horror elements giving you your tension release, and you got your comedy giving you your tension release. And I think at the end of the day, I feel like we all felt good about where we landed with that balance.
Awesome. Yeah, I it's one of those things that like no, me not being a filmmaker, I'm just like, how do you do that? It's just magic. So I think you guys nailed it.
Pure movie magic.
One thing I really liked about this movie is that it had some really cool like 80s and 90s feels to it. Especially bringing in Sean Astin, having that Gremlins reference, other little things here and there. Were there any films that you used as inspiration for this, or was it just kind of a mishmash of things?
Guys, you want to rattle off a few on the list?
I mean, there's a full list, but you name two, and we'll all name two.
Go. Well, let's say all encompassing. This is our love letter to Steven Spielberg. So, and this is our love letter to the Amblin films we all grew up on. So the three of us together, we all have such a love for it, and you'll see it in the movie, obviously. But that really was what brought us together on this movie. This concept really lent itself to us going, "Hey guys, this is an Amblin Spielberg world to the point where let's just call this the world they live in Spielberg County, spelled like Pittsburgh." But so yeah, I think you guys can rattle off some movies, but
And we have like E.T., Elliot and the Red Hoodie, Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones,
Gremlins,
And
Gremlins.
Jaws.
three of our biggest cameos are actually playing characters from the movies that they were in with Steven Spielberg. So, for instance, the girl that gets killed at the party, the DJ, Vanessa Chester, she's wearing a pink polo. It plays Jeff Goldblum's daughter in Jurassic Park 2. She was essentially playing the adult version of that in our movie, getting killed. Uh, Rufio from Hook is in the, you blink and you miss it, but he's dressed as Rufio
I
walking
did
through the
miss that.
jail. His line is, "I'm never growing up," as he goes through. That is Rufio. He's there. And then Sean Astin is, I'll let them explain it, but Sean Astin's kind of an amalgamation of a couple different characters that we mishmashed together, but we gave him a unique name. He is, there's kind of a lot of working parts for Sean. And Mike, if you want to explain that one is a mishmash.
Yeah, Sean's got a lot going on. He's our version of Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park. But then there's this whole lore about how Dennis Nedry in Jurassic Park, if you look at each of his character costumes, he's actually cosplaying as three different Goonies in Jurassic Park. Now we have the Goonie, Mikey Walsh, cosplaying as Dennis Nedry. And also his name is Willie Walsh in our film. And Sean has a fate that will definitely, if you put the math together, it's definitely going to become One-Eyed Willie. So there's a lot of like really deep cut nods to all. It's a love letter to Steven Spielberg for all three of us, and everybody else on board was really on board with that. So tons of nods.
No, I love that. I definitely missed the Rufio one, so I'm gonna rewatch the film.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah,
want to
he's in
rewatch
the
just
jail.
everything.
He's dressed as Rufio, and he's in the jail when Grant and Denny go into the police station.
Yeah.
He walks by in the background getting cuffed, and he says, "I'm never growing up."
Yep.
I love that so much. And in addition to all of these nods, you got a stellar cast. Uh, how did you get them all on board with this?
We paid them so much money. It was incessant. No, they were all friends of ours. Mike Hermosa, our director, he had Sandy Martin, who plays Henrietta McCluskey. He had worked with her on a previous film and some other projects as well. And when we were writing the movie and we knew Mike was friends with Sandy, we wrote that role for Sandy because Mike's like, I want to work with her again. We want to work with her. We love her. Richard Reilly, another friend of Mike's who he worked on previous projects with. Caitlin Stamos, who plays my love interest. She was good friends with Johnny and I for the past 10, 15 years. Um, gosh,
Larry Hankin, you knew
Larry. Oh yeah, Larry Hankin. I worked on a Comedy Central pilot presentation with 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Um,
I know JJ Nolan was easy for me to get to. Grace DeMarco was easy for Mike to get.
yeah, those are girlfriends. And
that.
Gosh, and then a lot of friends, a lot of people came out for us. 98% of the cast we knew as friends. And then there's 3% that we met and are now great friends with. David Shackelford, who I just want to give a shout out to, he played Denny in the film, my co-star. And we didn't know him before. and we are all just we love him. He's a best bud now. He's a chum.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, lucked out with the cast. My God, lucked out.
You really did. Um, I have to ask about the post-credit scene. Are there plans for sequels?
Yes.
We're gonna make 10 of these if we can.
We'll make as many as we can. We want to make a franchise out of this. We feel like it's a fun character and creature to sort of bring into the world. It's a fun world to explore. There's so many cameos and wish lists of either Spielberg 80s, 90s actors and other people that we'd love to bring on board and have fun with. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We wanna explore the genres and have fun and make as many sequels as people want to see.
And I'd also say that a lot of the fun in my mind, a lot of the fun of this movie is like the side characters within the world of Spielberg County. And I think the thing we're going to have the most fun with in the sequel is kind of exploring more of Spielberg County and exploring more of these characters that exist in this world. And it'll give us the ability to hire on cameos and character actors and just all the people you want to work with and the fun actors in town to like, give a weird character to, maybe kill and, have fun with.
That'd be awesome. Because I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I saw that, I had like major Tremors vibes. So I'm really excited to see what you guys do with the franchise.
I love that. I've seen a few Tremors comparisons, and that's one of my favorite movies. It's such a good movie, and it's such a good buddy movie, and such a good horror comedy and adventure. So yeah, I really hope we get to keep rolling with that. We'll make I don't know, they have 27 Tremors, I think, so we'll make 28 Raptors.
Do they really? Do they really have a
No,
lot?
there's a
They have
lot.
about
There's a
27.
lot.
Yeah.
Now,
Wow.
Tremors 1 is stands apart though. It's kind of it. There's the sequels. No offense to any of them, I haven't seen all of them, but they're sort of a different feel. But Tremors 1 was a very like just it had such a great classic iconic feel.
And Reba McEntire's in it, and you can't go wrong with Reba McEntire.
Yeah, and
For sure.
she's married to Michael Gross, who was the dad on Family Ties in that movie. They're like the crazy gun people. I love that movie. That was so great. So that comparison is beyond welcomed. We love that.
Awesome. Awesome. Um, all right. Those were kind of all of the questions I had for you, but before I let you go, is there anything else you wanted to add?
I'd like to say we another nod to the Spielberg world, the movies of the 80s, was that Spielberg and Lucas were the guys who broke the fourth wall of the cinema with merchandising. And if you know Spaceballs really well, Mel Brooks announces, Spaceballs 2 would be the need for more money. And it's all about merchandising. So we do have Invisible Raptor action figures and they are on our invisibleraptor.com site. And they're really fun to play with. It shows you on the back, all the different ways you can play with the Invisible Raptor action figure. So yeah, we're having a blast, like really creating outside of the of just seeing it on screen. So hopefully people can visit the site and buy some fun stuff, like that hat Johnny's wearing.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
That's from Dino World. Yeah, yeah.
Well, Christmas is coming up, so
Hey,
Christmas is
stocking
coming up.
stuffers.
This is
These
coming.
are the perfect gifts to a stocking stuffers for people you don't care too much about. You care just enough.
$15 enough.
Yeah, $15. Yeah, yeah, under 20. Yeah, yeah. White elephant.
I love it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Again, I love the movie and I can't wait to see the many sequels.
Thank you so much, Beth.
Appreciate it,
All right.
Beth.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.